First contact, the galactic conundrum. The vast expanse of space had never felt so crowded. As the sleek Terranian vessel glided through the star-studded void, Captain Ilara Chen couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change. She stood on the bridge of the TSS Curiosity, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling, ethereal patterns of the approaching nebula. "Captain, we're detecting an anomaly at the edge of the Cygnus Rift," Lieutenant Ravi Mehta reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "It's unlike anything we've ever seen." Ilara leaned forward, her curiosity piqued. "On screen, Lieutenant." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a shimmering tear in the fabric of space. It pulsed with an otherworldly energy, its edges rippling like water disturbed by an unseen stone. "What in the name of Einstein?" Ilara muttered, her scientific mind already racing with possibilities. Before she could issue any orders, the anomaly expanded rapidly. The crew watched in awe as a massive ship emerged from the rift, its design so alien and advanced that it defied human comprehension. Its surface seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal, and it dwarfed the Curiosity by several orders of magnitude. "Red alert," Ilara commanded, her voice steady despite the surge of adrenaline. "Shields up, but do not arm weapons. Let's not start an interstellar incident on our first encounter." As the crew scrambled to their stations, a beam of light shot out from the alien vessel, engulfing the Curiosity. For a moment, everything went silent. Then, the voice resonated through the minds of every crew member simultaneously. "Greetings, beings of Earth. We are the Axiom Collective. Your presence here is unexpected." Ilara took a deep breath, straightening her uniform. "This is Captain Ilara Chen of the Terranian spaceship Curiosity. We come in peace and in the spirit of scientific exploration." There was a pause, and Ilara could almost feel the alien minds processing her words. "Your species is young," the voice continued, "yet you have ventured far from your cradle. Curious. Curiosity is in our nature," Ilara replied, a hint of pride in her voice. "It's what drives us to explore, to understand, to push beyond our limits." Another pause, longer this time. Perhaps this is fortuitous. We have need of such curiosity." The beam of light intensified, and suddenly, Ilara found herself standing in a vast chamber aboard the alien ship. The walls pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, and floating orbs of various sizes hovered around her. She realized with a start that these must be the axioms themselves. A larger orb, shimmering with iridescent hues, approached her. "Captain Chen." It communicated directly into her mind. "I am Nexus, the prime cognition of the Axiom Collective. We face a crisis that threatens not just our civilization, but all sentient life in the galaxy." Ilara's mind reeled at the implications. What kind of crisis could possibly threaten an entire galaxy? Nexus pulsed with what Ilara interpreted as concern. "We call it the entropy cascade. It is a phenomenon that accelerates the heat death of the universe, causing entire star systems to wink out of existence in the blink of an eye." Holographic images materialized around them, showing stars collapsing and planets disintegrating at an alarming rate. Ilara watched in horror as entire civilizations were erased from existence. "We have dedicated millennia to solving this crisis," Nexus continued. "Our most advanced simulations, our deepest quantum calculations, all have failed to find a solution. And now, the cascade approaches the heart of our territories." Ilara's scientific mind was already racing, analyzing the data before her. "But why tell us? Surely, if your advanced civilization couldn't solve this, what hope do we humans have?" Nexus's form rippled, conveying a mixture of desperation and hope. "Because, Captain Chen, sometimes the greatest innovations come from the most unexpected sources. Your species' history is filled with improbable achievements, solutions that defy conventional logic. We have observed your kind from afar, marveling at your resilience, your ability to thrive in adversity." The chamber shifted, And Ilara found herself surrounded by images of human history. The Wright brothers' first flight, the moon landing, the Mars colonies, and finally, the development of faster-than-light travel. Where other species might have given up, you persevered. Nexus continued. You turned limitations into stepping stones. It is this human factor that we now turn to in our darkest hour. Ilara felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. She thought of Earth, of her family, of all the civilizations facing annihilation. We're not miracle workers, Nexus. We're just human. Perhaps, Nexus replied, a hint of what could only be described as a smile in its mental voice. But in a universe facing entropy, the human capacity for chaos might be exactly what we need. As the implications of Nexus's words sank in, Ilara realized that humanity had just been thrust onto a galactic stage, facing a challenge that would test not just their scientific prowess, but the very essence of what made them human. All right, Ilara said, squaring her shoulders. Where do we start? Nexus pulsed with approval. We begin, Captain Chen, by defying the very laws of physics themselves. Are your people prepared for such an endeavor? Ilara couldn't help but smile. If there was one thing humans were good at, it was defying expectations. Nexus, you're about to find out why our ship is called the Curiosity. We're not just prepared, we're eager to begin. As the holographic displays around them shifted to show the full scope of the entropy cascade, Ilara felt a mix of terror and exhilaration. Humanity's greatest challenge lay before them, but so did its greatest opportunity. The fate of the galaxy now rested, at least in part, on human ingenuity. And if there was one thing Ilara knew for certain, it was that humanity would not go quietly into the night. They would rage against the dying of the light. And in doing so, they might just save the universe. Little did the Axioms know, they had just unleashed a force of nature unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Humanity was about to show the cosmos what it meant to be human, for better or for worse. The stage was set, the players assembled. The greatest adventure in human history was about to begin, and the universe would never be the same. The human factor. Defying expectations, the cavernous chamber of the Axiom mothership hummed with an energy that was part anticipation, part skepticism. Captain Ilara Chen stood at the center of a holographic display, surrounded by floating orbs of various sizes and hues, the physical manifestations of the Axiom Collective's consciousness. Your proposal is unorthodox, Captain Chen. Nexus, the prime cognition, pulsed with a mixture of curiosity and doubt. To intentionally create microscopic black holes as a means of redirecting the entropy cascade, it seems dangerously improbable. Ilara couldn't help but smile. Improbable is our specialty, Nexus. History is filled with human achievements that were once thought impossible. Dr. Zara Okoye, the Curiosity's chief scientist, stepped forward. Her dark skin contrasted sharply with the ethereal glow of the chamber. The theory is sound, she explained, manipulating the holographic display with practiced ease. By creating a network of quantum-entangled micro-black holes, we can essentially create a pressure release valve for the universe. The Axiom's doubtful murmurs reverberated through the minds of the human crew. Ilara felt a twinge of frustration. How could she make them understand? Look, she said, her voice carrying the weight of determination. I know it sounds crazy, but sometimes the craziest ideas are exactly what we need. You said it yourself. Conventional methods have failed. It's time to try something unconventional. Nexus pulsed thoughtfully. The risks are enormous. A miscalculation could accelerate the very process we're trying to halt. That's why we start small, Ilara countered. We'll test the theory in a controlled environment, far from any inhabited systems. As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the ship. A junior Axiom consciousness zoomed into the chamber, its light flickering urgently. Nexus. The cascade has accelerated. The Lyra cluster. It's gone. A horrified silence fell over the assembly. The Lyra cluster, home to over 1 billion sentient beings, had been reduced to cosmic dust in an instant. Ilara's eyes met Zora's, a silent understanding passing between them. This was no longer a theoretical exercise. Every moment of hesitation could mean the extinction of entire civilizations. "We're out of time for debate," Ilara declared, her voice cutting through the shocked silence. "Give us a ship, give us the resources, and let us try. What do you have to lose that you're not already losing?" Nexus's form rippled, and Ilara sensed a shift in the collective consciousness of the axioms. "Very well, Captain Chen. We will provide you with our fastest scout ship, the Quantum Whisper. It is equipped with our most advanced technology." "Thank you," Ilara nodded, already mentally preparing for the mission ahead. "Dr. Okoye, assemble your team. We leave in an hour." As the humans rushed to prepare, Nexus approached Ilara privately. "I must confess, Captain, I find your species perplexing. You face near-certain death, yet I sense excitement rather than fear." Ilara considered this for a moment. "It's not that we don't feel fear, Nexus. We do. But for humans, fear has always been a catalyst for greatness. We've looked into the abyss before, and each time, we've come back stronger." Nexus pulsed with what Ilara interpreted as admiration. A curious perspective. Perhaps this is the human factor we have been missing. An hour later, the Quantum Whisper streaked through space, its human crew working in perfect harmony with the advanced Axiom technology. Dr. Okoye's fingers danced across holographic interfaces, making last-minute adjustments to their audacious plan. Approaching the test site, Lieutenant Meta announced from the helm, "It's a dead system, no signs of life. Perfect for our needs." Ilara took a deep breath. "All right, people, this is it. Dr. Okoye, are we ready?" Zara nodded, her eyes gleaming with the thrill of scientific discovery. "As ready as we'll ever be, Captain." Initiating the quantum singularity generator. Now, the ship hummed with power as exotic particles were funneled into a containment field. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a flash of light that seemed to bend reality itself, a pinprick of absolute darkness appeared in the viewing screen. "We've done it," Zara whispered, her voice filled with awe. "A stable micro-black hole, exactly as theorized." But their celebration was short-lived. Alarms blared as the ship's sensors detected a massive energy spike. "Captain," Meta shouted, "the entropy cascade. It's here." Ilara watched in horror as the fabric of space-time began to unravel before their eyes. The dead system they had chosen as their testing ground was being torn apart at the subatomic level. "Dr. Okoye, options," Ilara demanded, her mind racing for a solution. Zara's fingers flew across the controls. "The black hole. It's acting as an attractor for the cascade energy. If we can create more, we might be able to redirect the flow." "Do it," Ilara ordered. What followed was a ballet of scientific precision and seat-of-the-pants improvisation. As Zara and her team worked frantically to spawn more micro-black holes, Ilara and Meta maneuvered the ship through the chaos, narrowly avoiding destruction at every turn. Minutes stretched into hours as they battled against the very forces of nature. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, it was over. "Status report," Ilara demanded, her voice hoarse from shouting orders. Meta's hands shook as he checked the readings. It's gone, Captain. The cascade has been fully absorbed by the black hole network. We've done it." A cheer went up from the crew, a release of tension that had been building for hours. But Ilara knew their work was far from over. "Get me a communication link to Nexus," she ordered. "They need to see this." As the holographic form of Nexus materialized on the bridge, Ilara couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. Against all odds, humanity had taken its first step towards saving the galaxy. "Nexus," she said, her voice filled with determination. "Prep your fleet. We've got a universe to save, and we're going to need all hands on deck." Nexus pulsed with an emotion Ilara could only describe as hope. Captain Chen, it seems we may have underestimated the human factor after all. Perhaps there is hope for us yet. As the quantum whisper turned towards home, Ilara allowed herself a small smile. They had overcome the impossible once. Now they just had to do it on a galactic scale. The battle for the universe had only just begun, but for the first time since the entropy cascade had been discovered, there was a glimmer of hope. And where there was hope, humanity would always find a way. Collaboration and conflict. The Interstellar Alliance. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Axiom Collective's central hub buzzed with an energy unlike anything seen in millennia. Representatives from 1,000 alien civilizations gathered. Their diverse forms a testament to the rich tapestry of life in the galaxy. At the center of it all stood Captain Ilara Chen and her team. The unlikely heroes who had given the cosmos a fighting chance against the entropy cascade. Nexus, the prime cognition of the axioms, pulsed with an almost palpable sense of urgency. Esteemed beings of the galaxy, we stand at a crossroads. The humans have demonstrated a potential solution to the cascade, but implementing it on a galactic scale will require unprecedented cooperation. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. A towering crystalline being stepped forward, its faceted body refracting light in mesmerizing patterns. We, the Prism Conclave, have doubts. These humans are barely out of their stellar cradle. How can we trust the fate of all existence to such primitives? Ilara felt a surge of indignation, but before she could respond, an unexpected ally spoke up. A being composed entirely of swirling gases, a member of the enigmatic Nebula Sages, floated forward. "We have observed the humans," it whispered, its voice like the rustle of solar winds. "Their chaotic nature, which many see as a weakness, may be their greatest strength. In a universe trending towards entropy, their inherent disorder could be the key to our salvation." The debate raged for hours, with factions forming and dissolving as quickly as thought. Ilara watched, fascinated and frustrated in equal measure. The politics of a galactic civilization were as complex as they were vital. Finally, a consensus was reached. The Interstellar Alliance would be formed, with the singular goal of implementing the human solution to the entropy cascade on a cosmic scale. As the assembly dispersed, Dr. Zara Okoye approached Ilara, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "Captain, you won't believe what I've discovered. The axioms have granted us access to their quantum archives, and I think I found something that could revolutionize our approach." Before Zara could elaborate, they were interrupted by the arrival of Sylith, the lead scientist of the Prism Conclave. Its crystalline form seemed to vibrate with barely contained skepticism. "Dr. Okoye," it chimed, the sound like tinkling glass, "I've reviewed your proposals. While intriguing, they violate several fundamental laws of physics as we understand them." Zara's eyes narrowed. "With all due respect, Sylith, perhaps it's your understanding that needs to evolve. The universe is clearly operating outside of our current models. We need to adapt." Ilara sensed the rising tension and stepped in. "Why don't we combine our efforts? Sylith, your people's expertise in quantum crystallography could be invaluable in refining our micro-black hole network." Sylith's form shimmered, a sign of reluctant agreement. "Very well. But I warn you, if your theories prove dangerous, we will not hesitate to shut this project down." As they made their way to the newly established joint laboratory, Ilara couldn't shake a sense of unease. The alliance was fragile, held together by desperation and hope in equal measure. One misstep could shatter it all. Weeks passed in a blur of frenetic activity. The laboratory became a melting pot of ideas, with humans working alongside beings they could scarcely comprehend. Progress was made, but so too were mistakes, some nearly catastrophic. One day, as Ilara was reviewing the latest simulations, an alarm blared through the facility. She raced to the main testing chamber, her heart pounding. Inside, she found chaos. A micro-black hole had grown unstable, its event horizon expanding rapidly. As Ilith and Zara worked frantically at opposite control panels, their usual animosity forgotten in the face of imminent danger. "We need to collapse the containment field," Zara shouted. "Impossible," Silith chimed back. "The resonance cascade would destroy half the station." Ilara's mind raced. In that moment, she remembered something from her academy days, a theory so wild it had been dismissed as fantasy. "What if we inverted the tachyon flow?" she suggested. "Use the black hole's own energy to implode it." Zara and Tylith exchanged looks of disbelief, then understanding. "It's insane," Zara said. "Which means it might just work," Silith finished. What followed was a symphony of coordination. Human intuition, axiom technology, and prism precision all worked in harmony. For a heart-stopping moment, it seemed as if the entire station would be torn apart. Then, with a flash of light that seared itself into Ilara's retinas, the black hole collapsed in on itself, leaving behind nothing but a faint wisp of Hawking radiation. In the stunned silence that followed, Ilara realized something had changed. The near disaster had forged a bond between the disparate species, a shared experience of triumph against impossible odds. Zilith's crystalline form softened almost imperceptibly. "Perhaps," it chimed softly, "we have been too hasty in our judgments. Your species' propensity for unorthodox solutions is most intriguing." Zara grinned, the adrenaline of their narrow escape still coursing through her. "And your precision saved us all. I think we make a pretty good team." As the three of them stood there, surrounded by the remnants of their near catastrophe, Ilara felt a glimmer of true hope. If they could come together like this, maybe, just maybe, they stood a chance against the entropy cascade. But their moment of unity was short-lived. A communication from Nexus interrupted their reflections. "Captain Chen," the Prime Cognition's voice resonated in their minds. "We've detected a massive surge in cascade activity. An inhabited system in the Orion Spur is showing signs of imminent collapse." Ilara's blood ran cold. The Orion Spur. That was far too close to Earth for comfort. "How long do we have?" "Hours, at most," Nexus replied. "Our solution is still untested on this scale, but we have no choice. We must act now, or billions will perish." Ilara looked at Zara and Tylith, seeing her own determination reflected in their alien features. "Then we act," she declared. "Prep the quantum whisper. We're about to put our theory to the ultimate test." As they raced to the ship, Ilara couldn't shake the feeling that this was it. The moment that would define not just humanity's place in the cosmos, but the fate of all sentient life. The true test of the interstellar alliance was about to begin, and failure was not an option. The quantum whisper streaked into the darkness, carrying with it the hopes of a galaxy. As they hurtled towards the Orion Spur, Ilara silently promised the nameless billions in harm's way, "We're coming. Hold on just a little longer." Humanity's finest hour was about to unfold among the stars. The Crucible. Humanity's finest hour. The quantum whisper dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Orion Spur, and the scene that greeted them sent a chill through every being on board. The very fabric of space-time writhed and twisted, stars flickering like candles in a storm. At the center of the maelstrom lay Kepler 186, a system home to over 5 billion sentient beings. Captain Ilara Chen's voice cut through the tense silence on the bridge. "Status report." Dr. Zura Okoid's fingers danced across the holographic displays. "It's worse than we thought, Captain. The cascade is accelerating exponentially. We have less than an hour before total system collapse." Shilith, the Prism Conclave scientist, chimed in, its crystalline form vibrating with stress. "Our models didn't account for this level of intensity. The micro-black hole network may not be enough." Ilara felt the weight of billions of lives on her shoulders. She took a deep breath, centering herself. "Then we adapt. We didn't come this far to fail now." "Zara, Silith, I need options." As the scientists huddled over their consoles, Lieutenant Ravi Mehta spoke up from the helm. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the surface of Kepler 186f. Audio only." "Put it through," Ilara ordered. A voice crackled over the speakers, filled with fear and desperation. "This is Governor Lix of Kepler 186f. Our sensors detect your ship. Please, if you can hear us, help us. We're losing our orbital platforms. Our cities are crumbling. We don't understand what's happening." Ilara closed her eyes for a moment, steeling herself. "Governor Lix, this is Captain Ilara Chen of the Interstellar Alliance. We're here to help. Begin evacuating your people to underground shelters immediately. We're going to try to stabilize your system, but I need you to trust us. Anything." Lix's voice quavered. "We'll do anything. Please, save us." As the transmission cut off, Zara and Hylith approached, their faces grim but determined. "Captain," Zara began, "we have a plan, but it's insane." Ilara couldn't help but smile grimly. "Insane is what we do best, Doctor. Let's hear it." Hylith's form shimmered as it explained. "We propose to create not just a network of micro-black holes, but a single massive quantum singularity, one large enough to absorb the bulk of the cascade's energy. The risks are enormous," Zora continued. "If we lose control, we could tear a hole in the universe itself. But if it works, we save billions and gain a weapon against the cascade." Ilara finished. She didn't hesitate. "Do it." What followed was a symphony of organized chaos. The Quantum Whisper maneuvered through the disintegrating system, its advanced axiom shields barely holding against the onslaught of cosmic forces. Zara and Tylith worked in perfect harmony, their earlier animosity forgotten in the face of this ultimate challenge. As they initiated the quantum singularity generator, alarms blared throughout the ship. Hull integrity at 60% and falling. Mehta reported, his voice steady, despite the dire situation. "Divert all non-essential power to the shields," Ilara ordered. "We need to buy them more time." The view screen showed a sight both terrifying and awe-inspiring. A massive black hole was forming at the heart of the Kepler system, its gravitational pull already affecting the cascade's flow. "It's working," Zara shouted over the din of groaning metal and crackling energy. "The cascade is being drawn in." But their victory was short-lived. Silith's chimes took on a frantic tone. "The singularity, it's growing too fast. We can't contain it." Ilara watched in horror as the black hole began to devour not just the cascade energy, but the very planets it was meant to save. In that moment, she made a decision that would alter the course of galactic history. "Mehta, take us in," she commanded. "Captain." Mehta's voice was filled with disbelief. "You heard me. Take us into the event horizon." Zara grabbed Ilara's arm. "That's suicide. We'll be torn apart." Ilara met her friend's gaze, her eyes filled with determination. "No, we won't, because we're going to do what humans do best, the impossible." She turned to the rest of the crew. "Listen up. We're going to use the Whisper's quantum drive to stabilize the singularity from the inside. Yes, it's never been done before. Yes, it defies every law of physics we know. But right now, we're the only hope those billions of lives have." A hush fell over the bridge, broken only by the sounds of the ship straining against cosmic forces. Then, one by one, each crew member nodded their agreement. Silith's crystalline form seemed to glow with a new respect. "Your species continues to astound, Captain Chen. It has been an honor." As the Quantum Whisper plunged towards the event horizon, Ilara felt an odd sense of calm. This was it, the moment that would define not just her life, but potentially the fate of the entire galaxy. The ship shuddered as it crossed the point of no return. Alarms screamed as the laws of physics began to break down around them. Through it all, Ilara's voice remained steady, guiding her crew, coordinating with Zora and Silith as they attempted the impossible. Time lost all meaning inside the singularity. It could have been minutes or millennia as they fought against forces beyond comprehension. The quantum whisper's drive pulsed with energy, creating a bubble of stability in the heart of chaos. And then, just when it seemed they could hold on no longer, something shifted. The violent forces surrounding them began to calm. The singularity, instead of growing, started to shrink. "We've done it," Zara whispered, her voice filled with awe. "We've stabilized the black hole. The cascade, it's gone." As if in a dream, the quantum whisper emerged from the event horizon. The Kepler system, moments ago on the brink of annihilation, now hung peacefully in space. The cascade had been stopped. Cheers erupted on the bridge, the crew celebrating their miraculous survival and success. But Ilara knew this was just the beginning. They had proven that the entropy cascade could be beaten, but the battle for the galaxy was far from over. As congratulatory messages poured in from across the Alliance, Ilara stood at the view screen, gazing out at the stars. They had faced the impossible and emerged victorious. Humanity had proven its worth among the cosmos. "Captain," Meta called out, his voice filled with emotion, "we're receiving a priority transmission. It's Earth. They're asking for you." Ilara smiled. It was time to go home, to share what they had learned, and to prepare for the challenges that lay ahead. The galaxy was watching, waiting to see what these curious, contradictory, incredible humans would do next. As she prepared to address her homeworld, Ilara knew one thing for certain: humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. A new galactic order, humanity's place among the stars. The Grand Assembly Hall of the United Nations in New York City buzzed with an energy unlike anything in Earth's history. Holographic projections of alien dignitaries from across the galaxy floated alongside human representatives, a visual testament to the new era of interstellar cooperation. At the podium stood Captain Ilara Chen, her Terranian Space Service uniform adorned with newly minted commendations. The weight of her experiences in the Kepler system still showed in her eyes, but there was also a fierce determination, a fire that had only grown stronger in the face of near-impossible odds. Representatives of Earth and honored delegates of the Interstellar Alliance, Ilara began, her voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber and to billions of beings watching across the galaxy. 6 months ago, we stood on the brink of cosmic annihilation. The entropy cascade threatened not just our world, but every civilized planet in the galaxy. Today, I'm here to tell you that threat is no more. A thunderous applause erupted, human cheers mingling with the various sounds of alien celebration. Ilara waited for the noise to subside before continuing. Our victory came at a great cost. We lost brave souls from a dozen species in our battle against the cascade. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten, but their legacy lives on in the peace and security we now enjoy. She gestured to the holographic displays showing the stable Kepler system and the now dormant singularities that dotted the galaxy, standing guard against any resurgence of the cascade. The quantum barrier network is now fully operational. These controlled singularities, born from human intuition and alien wisdom, stand as sentinels against entropy itself. But they represent more than just a defense system. They are a testament to what we can achieve when we come together, when we combine the best of all our cultures and knowledge. Dr. Zara Okoye and Kai Lith of the Prism Conclave stood nearby, their unlikely friendship a symbol of the new bridges being built between species. Zara gave Ilara an encouraging nod, while Xylith's crystalline form shimmered with what could only be described as pride. Humanity has been given an incredible opportunity, Ilara continued. We've been thrust onto the galactic stage, our potential recognized by civilizations far older and more advanced than our own. It would be easy to let this go to our heads, to believe we are somehow superior, but that is not the lesson we should take from this experience. She paused, looking out at the sea of faces, human and alien alike. Our strength lies not in our technology or even in our resourcefulness, but in our diversity, in our ability to see problems from angles others might miss. in our willingness to take risks, to believe in the impossible, and then to make it happen. These are the qualities that allowed us to face the cascade and emerge victorious. And these are the qualities we must nurture as we take our place among the stars. The holographic form of Nexus, the prime cognition of the Axiom Collective, floated forward. Captain Chen speaks wisdom beyond her years. Its mental voice resonated through the hall. The Axiom Collective has existed for millennia, yet it took the fresh perspective of humanity to solve a crisis we thought unsolvable. We have much to learn from each other. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. Ilara could sense the shift in the air, the birth of a new galactic order where humanity would play a pivotal role. But our work is far from over, Ilara cautioned. The cascade may be contained, but the universe is vast and full of wonders and dangers we have yet to imagine. Our mission now is to explore, to learn, and to grow. Not just as individual species, but as a united galactic community. She outlined plans for joint scientific missions, cultural exchange programs, and the establishment of a galactic academy, where the brightest minds from all species could come together to tackle the universe's greatest mysteries. We stand at the dawn of a new age, Ilara concluded, her voice ringing with conviction. An age of discovery, of cooperation, of pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The stars have always called to humanity, daring us to reach out and touch them. Now, we have not only touched the stars but have taken our place among them. As the assembly erupted into applause once more, Ilara felt a profound sense of both accomplishment and responsibility. Humanity had proven itself, but the real challenge lay ahead. How would they shape the galaxy? What wonders and perils awaited them in the vast cosmic ocean? In the days that followed, as treaties were signed and plans were made, a palpable sense of excitement gripped the earth. Children looked up at the night sky with new wonder, knowing that among those twinkling lights were friends and allies. Scientists worked feverishly, combining human theories with alien knowledge to push the boundaries of the possible. And in spaceports around the world, a new generation of explorers prepared to venture forth, carrying the hopes and dreams of humanity to distant stars. Captain Ilara Chen stood on the observation deck of the newly christened Terranian flagship Horizon. The massive vessel represented the pinnacle of human-alien cooperative engineering, a testament to how far they had come in such a short time. As the ship prepared for its maiden voyage, Ilara thought back to that fateful day when the Axioms first appeared above Earth. They had come seeking help, not knowing they would find not just a solution to the cascade, but a species that would change the very fabric of galactic society. Captain, Lieutenant Meta's voice came over the intercom. "We're ready for departure." Ilara took one last look at the blue marble of Earth, feeling a mix of nostalgia and excitement. "Very well, Lieutenant. Let's make history." As the Horizon engaged its quantum drive, preparing to leap into the unknown, Ilara couldn't help but smile. Humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning, and the universe would never be the same. The stars beckoned, full of promise and peril in equal measure, and humanity, with its unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and courage, was ready to answer the call. The galaxy watched and waited, eager to see what these remarkable beings from Earth would do next. For in the grand cosmic dance, humanity had proven to be the wild card, the unexpected variable that could change the equation of existence itself. And as the Horizon disappeared into the quantum fold, carrying the hopes and dreams of billions, one thing was certain: the future of the galaxy had never looked brighter.